What's up, YouTube? Tim Moose here. Now, here is my throwback segment where I talk about the films that turned 10, 20, and 30 this week. Alright, the films celebrating their 10th anniversary. We got Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues. This is, of course, the long way follow to 2004's Anchorman, which, by the way, turns 20 next year. Now, as obviously, it's nowhere near as good as the original and all, but I actually still had a fun time with the sequel. My favorite part has got to be, of course, the ending with them, with all the new anchors or fighting and stuff like that. That might even be far better than the than the broad sleep from the original. Because I mean, the ending at spoiler for Anchorman 2, by the way. But the ending, of course, had cameos from the likes of Will Smith to Liam Neeson, Tina Fey, Angler. It has maybe one of the best cameos I, I've I've seen that year. Now, if you guys don't know much about the sequel, it does take place after 70 years after capturing the heart of co-anchor Veronica Corningstone, who is played by Christina Applegate. Newsman Ron Burgundy, played by Will Ferrell, is offered a chance at a lifetime, a spot of the world's first 24-hour global cable news network. And of course, you have the likes of Harrison Ford's also in this, James Marsden. You do got returning cast members like Paul Rudd, Steve Carell, David Koechner. I had a fun time with the sequel. I thought it was really funny. It was really made what it was. It was really interesting that they finally went ahead in this sequel because they were trying to get a sequel off the ground literally for years, and it finally came to fruition. And I'm happy that it happened because I thought it was a really good one. All right, also turning 10, we got the Spike Jonze movie Her. Now, if you want to see a movie about a guy who falls in love with his answer machine, or his virtual assistant, I should say, this is definitely one for you. Now, this stars the likes of Joaquin Phoenix, along with Scarlett Johansson, Chris Pratt, Rooney Mara, Amy Adams, Olivia Wilde, and if you guys don't know much about the story here, the film follows Theodore Tomley, played by Joaquin Phoenix, a man who develops a relationship with Samantha, voiced by Scarlett Johansson, an artificial intelligent virtual assistant personified through a female voice. And Scarlett Johansson, by the way, was terrific. I kid you not. There was even conversations about possibly Scarlett Johansson getting an Oscar nomination for the performance, but vocal performance barely getting there, so obviously that didn't really get question. But Her was a very interesting little flick. I believe it also scored like a Best Picture nomination, if I'm not mistaken. It's a really decent, cute, charming flick. Of course, Samantha Moore was supposed to voice the virtual assistant, but that never came to fruition. So instead, Scarlett Johansson did the voice, and she did decent enough job. So yeah, I mean, the premise of Her does sound a little weird. I mean, a film about a guy who falls in love with his with pretty much his answer machine. That sounds weird, but but on premise is actually really like if you actually watch a movie, it's actually very decent and more better than Hannah Attention Thing. So anyway, also turning 10, we got the film Walking with Dinosaurs, which features the voice talents of Justin Long and John Leguizamo. And here you got former Doggy Dog contestant Skylar Stone. Um, and it's pretty much like in the film, like an underdog dinosaur named Patchy must find his like courage to become the leader of his herd, or while becoming a hero for the ages. So this is really pretty much a dinosaur based film. I love a good dinosaur movie, whether it's like Jurassic Park, whether it's The Land Before Time, and this is a really decent flick with some really decent voice talents in this. Really, it was of course mixed with both live action and animation. Of course, it had like Carl Urban playing like the live action version here. So not a bad little film if you guys haven't seen that. I mean, I remember watched this one literally in 3D at the time. So yeah, the 3D aspect was really cool. All right, now films turning 20 this week. Oh boy, this is some big one. We of course got the Oscar-winning film The Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, which was of course the pretty much the third and pretty much final installment of the Lord of the Rings franchise until like they went ahead and did like the prequels and stuff. And of course, this movie pretty much won lots of best pictures. Yeah, it became like the second film series whose entries have all won Best Visual Effects, after like the original Star Wars trilogy, and The Return of the King became the first fantasy film to win an Academy Award for Best Picture, and is obviously it's one of the best out of the franchise. Not really much of a Lord of the Rings guy, but this is a really terrific installment. Um, shows that like the Oscars are not biased when it comes to blockbusters because Return of the King was one of the most one of the most rewarded, pretty much one of the most awarded films that year. So yeah, it's a really terrific one for you guys. I've seen it. All right, I mean this thing literally won. I kid you not, it won all 11 awards for Best Picture. Tying with 1959's Ben Hur and 1997's Titanic as the movie with the most Academy wins. So yeah, all right. Also turning 20, we got 2003's Peter Pan. Now, of course, this was directed by P.J. Hogan and starred Jason Isaac as Captain Hook, and is based on a very popular novel by J.M. Barrie. Of course, you had like Olivia Williams was also in this, Jimmy Sumter, Rachel Hurd Wood playing Wendy, Ludivine Sagner plays around Tinkerbell, Lynn Redgrave was also in this. It's a really solid live action adaptation. I mean, Jason Isaacs definitely really embodied Captain Hook perfectly. Like he wasn't as good as let's say Dustin Hoffman was or anything like that, but man, Jason Isaacs really embraces role perfectly. I mean, who doesn't love Jason Isaacs? Of course, he's best known for playing McAvoy's dad on the in the Harry Potter universe, and he really could play bad very well, and here really showed it. So yeah, definitely one of the best live action Peter Pan adaptations there is. Also turning 20, we've got Mona Lisa Smile, which was directed by Newell, who of course directed one of the Harry Potter movies. And, speaking of Harry Potter, by the way, and stars the likes of Julia Roberts, Kristen Dunst, Julia Stiles, Maggie Gyllenhaal, and the title is reference to Mona Lisa, the famous painting by Leonardo da Vinci, and to the song of the same name, originally performed by King Cole, which was covered by Seal for the movie. In it, Julia Roberts plays Catherine Watson, a recent UCLA graduate hired to teach art history at a all-female Wesley College in 1953. Of course, inspiring her traditional students, including Betty, played by Kristen Dunst, Joan, played by Julia Stiles, Shadow Life of Unexpected Julie. I mean, Julia Stiles, I've always adored her. Like, it was really cool seeing her pop up on the Saturday Night Live recent, which is always it's always nice to see Julia Stiles just in anything. She's always a given. And it's actually a really decent, charming little flick. Of course, this is a period piece film with great performances by Julia Roberts, by Kristen Dunst. Who else was in this one? Oh yeah, Maggie Gyllenhaal was also in this. Uh, it was also even the highest ever earned by actress at the time. Like Julia Roberts actually received a record 25 million for her performance, the highest ever earning for an actress at the time. So that's really cool there. So really a flick if I haven't seen it. Also turning 20, we got the Oscar nominated film House of Sand and Fogs. Now, this of course starred um the likes of Sir Ben Kingsley, who actually and was actually nominated for 3 Academy Awards, one of which was for Best Actor for Ben Kingsley, Best Actress for Shora Achasalo, I can never pronounce that name well, and Best Original Score for the late great James Horner. If you guys don't, now this is actually based on a book, and it's the story concerns the battle between a young woman and an immigrant Iran family over the ownership of like a house in Northern California. And it's a really decent little flick with great performances by Kingsley, by Shara. So some really decent performances here. All right. Also turning 20, we got the Hebrew Hammer, which stars Adam Gilbert, Judy Greer, Andy Dick, Peter Coyote, and the Fox concerns a Jewish black station crime fighter known as a Hebrew Hammer who must save Hanukkah from the evil son of Santa Claus, who wants to destroy Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and make everyone celebrate Christmas. The film pretty much like Perry's black exploitation films, and even features Melvin Van Peebles in a cameo as a sweetback. And this is a really dumb film, but it's definitely more of a guilty pleasure here. It really, of course, has like the fun aspects of the black exploitation ones. Of course, Melvin Pebbles obviously is a black exploitation legend there, so seeing him pop up in this is intriguing. Some great cast members from the likes of Adam Gilbert, to of course, to like Judy Greer. I mean, it's a really fun comic if you guys haven't seen it. All right, now lots of trending theory this week. We of course got the Oscar nominated film Philadelphia, directed by Silence of the Lambs director Jonathan Demme, and stars the likes of Tom Hanks, Denzel Washington, Antonio Banderas. And the film tells the story of attorney Andrew Becker, played by Hanks, who comes to ask a personal injury attorney Joe Miller, played by Washington, to help sue his employees, who fired him after discovering he was gay and that he also had AIDS. Now, this movie, of course, won Tom Hanks' first ever Oscar, and he became like one of the first actors, one of the few actors to actually win Oscars back to back, because a year after he would go on to win for Forrest Gump too. And yeah, this is a really terrific one. Great performances by Tom Hanks, Denzel's great, Antonio Banderas, Mary Steenburgen, and Dow's also in this. So got some really cool cast members. It is also based on a true story, so there's that too. So if you guys never really seen Philadelphia, definitely give this a go. Of course, this really talks a lot about the AIDS epidemic at the time, and it's a really training flick worth getting. All right, also trending today, we got What's Eating Gilbert Grape, directed by Leslie Holstrom, starring the likes of Johnny Depp, Leonardo DiCaprio, Juliette Lewis, the late Darlene Cates, and it stars Johnny Depp as a 25-year-old Gilbert, a grocery store clerk caring for his obese mother, played by Kate. And he's also trying to take care of his disabled younger brother, played by DiCaprio. Now you also had like Mary Steenburgen, Darlene Cates, John C. Raleigh, Juliette Lewis, Leo DiCaprio, of course. This one I guess you could say was the movie that really put DiCaprio on the map for most people. Like it was actually his breakout role, and he became one of the few youngest actors to actually get an Oscar nomination while he was ever there. And Johnny Depp, of course, is terrific. I mean, Leo DiCaprio's performances probably won't go well today because he's not really disabled in real life. So, yeah, probably won't go really well today. But hey, DiCaprio still plays his part very well. The brother chemistry between both DiCaprio and Depp is terrific. You guys haven't seen it, so really good flick if you guys haven't seen that one. All right, also training theory, we got Grumpy Old Man, directed by Mystic Pizza and Miss Congeniality director Donald Petrie, starring Hollywood legends Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau as two crumbling long, uh, criminally neighbors who have been at each other's throats for over 4 years. The rivalry of the former friends intensifies when Ariel, played by Margaret, comes along and provides the love interest of them both here. And of course, you had the likes of Kevin Pollak, Oscar Davis, Chris McDonald, Burgess Meredith, Daryl Hannah, Buck Henry, some really terrific supporting performances. And of course, Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau both play off each other very well here. They also did another, like a sequel called Grumpy Old Man, which wasn't really all that good. But the first Grumpy Old Man, really hilarious. I mean, seeing like these two legends at the time really play off each other is very fun to watch. So, yeah, I mean, if you guys never seen Grumpy Old Man, get that one to go. All right, also training 30, we got the Western film Tombstone. Now, of course, this came out the same year as another Wyatt Earp based movie, which is well titled Wyatt Earp. But obviously, this is actually the better one here. Now, this does star the likes of Kurt Russell, Bill Paxton, Sam Elliott, Charlton Heston, and it's where Wyatt Earp, played by Kurt Russell, and his brothers Morgan, played by Bill Paxton, and Virgo, played by Sam Elliott, have left their gunslingers ways behind them to settle down and start business in the town of Tombstone areas. And of course, you have like Val Kilmer playing Doc Holliday, directed by First Blood director like George P. Cosmaso, who also did Cobra. I mean, this is definitely one of the best westerns of that era. Kurt Russell as Wyatt Earp. You know, Kevin Costner was great, but Kurt Russell I think plays his part much better here. Of course, the performances all around is great. It's a really terrific western which worth checking out. All right, also trying dirty, we got the Oliver Stone film Heaven and Earth, which is pretty much like the third and final film of Stone's Vietnam War trilogy, following 1986's Platoon and 1989 Born on the 4th of July. And stars like Tom Lee Jones. And also, it's nowhere near as like good as let's say Platoon or it's not as good as let's say Platoon or Born on the 4th of July, but it's a really decent war based film. If you guys don't know much about the story in this, it's about Lee Lai, who lives in a small Vietnamese village whose serenity is shattered when war breaks out, caught between the Viet Cong and the South Vietnamese army. The village is all but destroyed after being like both brutalized and raped. Lee Lai resolves to flee. She leaves for the city, surviving desperate situations here. And of course, you have like Tom Lee Jones, who plays U.S. Marine named Steve Butler, who like treats her kindly here. Only and tells like pretty much wants to like marry her as well. And Tom Lee Jones, of course, he's worked with Oliver Stone before on like JFK. Tom Lee Jones is terrific in this. He's always great. I just checked out Finest Kind, really good in that. Like Tom Lee Jones is a living legend. So I think he's definitely really solid in this one. His chemistry with the lead actress Hiet Tai Lee is really great. So not a bad little flick if you guys have seen that one. Alright, last but not least, turning 30, for all you Batman anime fans, we of course got Batman Max of the Phantasm. Of course, this was pretty much like the first major, of course, this was released around the time where like Batman the Animated Series was very popular. So they decided to like branch Batman and the Animated Series into a feature, which was Batman Max of the Phantasm. Uh, and the anime feature is set in 1940s, and the troubled yet heroic Batman, voiced by the legendary Kevin Conroy, is pitted against a mysterious figure who is rubbing out Gotham City's most dangerous criminals here. And of course, he is about to get married to the lovely Andre Bowman, voiced by Dana Delaney. And he also has some other really cool voice talents as well. It's of course like the original Batman anime series ran from like 1992 to 1999, and it's definitely one of the best DC anime contents out there. It's terrific. The animation's always cool. This and maybe the Red Hood one is definitely two of the best DC anime films of all time. So yeah, really solid one. And so if you guys haven't seen it, I believe you could probably watch it on Max. Really decent on Batman anime fella. But that's pretty much it there. Let me leave it to you guys. Which of these films then actually you the most? Even though Her was good, the one that really said that to me the most will obviously be Anchorman 2 because I just love Ron Burgundy. The 20-year one will of course be Return of the King. And the 30 one, I'm probably gonna go with What's in Gilbert Grape. That's definitely the better out of those. But anyway, drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Simon signing.